Hello, everyone. How are we doing? How is everybody doing this lovely Wednesday evening? We're not weather-wise, but I hope we're all well. We had to restart, unfortunately, the stream because YouTube. Why not? Because YouTube just sometimes just doesn't want to work, regardless of what you do. I don't know why it happens, but it does happen now and again that, regardless of what you do, it just doesn't send out notifications, so it doesn't just want to work in general. It is weird and it's frustrating sometimes, but what can you do? I have to just delete the old stream because it's not really of any relevance, unfortunately. If I can find where the hell I am. See, yeah, that's it. Give me a moment. That's that deleted because it would have the same title and stuff, and people would be confused. So I think we are fine now. I think hopefully everything is fine. I think everything's good. We're here on time too, which is a good thing. We do have a bit to talk about. Have my tea too here. I better drink my tea because it'll be cold. Like, I can't tell you how many times I brought tea with me to these live streams and then just forgot to drink my tea because I got too busy discussing stuff, which is a good complaint. It'd be different if you were just arguing with people, discussing different things. You can get distracted. I suppose it's a good complaint in a way. Pelgale. Probably notifications will go out here either day, but anyway. But yeah, so we have a bit to talk about. Obviously, we know the government are talking about it at the moment. We see if they're serious about immigration rules. They're talking about tightening immigration rules in terms of student visas, etc., the whole shebang. About time, people would say, but I suppose it's too early to say because they could be just hoodwinking us, saying they're going to do it and then they might not do it. So we have to wait and see what happens there because, you couldn't really trust them to say that, we're going to do something about immigration and stuff. They maybe might, they could, you never know, but you can't trust them too. I could be wrong. Hopefully I'm wrong, but we see. Only time will tell. Only time will tell. And obviously then we talk about these 14 stairs that cost €800,000 too. And then a ramp too, of course. €800,000. Sounds about right. Which is insane to say too. It's at €800,000 on foot. So that pretty much is 100k per step, somebody was saying. Which is absolute mad too to say. Easy. So yeah, there's objections to Metrolink. Now it hasn't even dug anything, and there's already objections to it. So it's not going to happen. Like, Metrolink's going to take another billion years. Minister, Metrolink objections to the late project by mods within 2027. Yeah, great stuff. Going to take into 2027 before they even do anything. They finally approve it, and then they Well, I suppose people have a right to object if they want to, but you know, it's critical that that's probably nearly done at this stage of the Metro Link because it's literally been talked about for 25 years. 25 years. Um, 25 years is an awful long time. That's all my life, pretty much. A bit more than my life. I'm 23, and it's crazy to think, but it's the truth. 25 years. 25 years of hell. The other thing we have to talk about actually too is about Twitter, and the location stuff now on Twitter. It's a good bit to be talked about, I suppose. What is this? Typical. Used to be a YouTube channel called Typical Gamer back in the day. I don't know if he probably does. Oh, people. Does it show live? Just out of curiosity, it does actually. But I don't know. Is it because now the notifications? It's weird how YouTube's working. It could be because I said something and YouTube's not happy with it. It could be that even. It could be. It could be many things. But yeah. So we will get started in a second. We'll chat about because this is actually quite a good bit to start with. I suppose I will start with this wall, or not even wall, stairs. It'd be better we kind of get in the wall than the stair. I don't know which is worse, a stair or a wall. To be told answer. So yeah, we probably will get started now. So yeah, South Dublin County Council. I talked about this yesterday in a video. Spent €800,000, pretty much 750,000, on 14 steps, and I'm not joking. Actually, 14 steps, and a ramp and a few trees, and that costs €750,000. You know, the usual thing. A few steps. That's €700,000, please. And nothing elaborate. Like, I wouldn't mind if these steps were made out of gold, or were literally going up to, I don't know, the Pentagon or the White House. But there's literally steps going up to a park. It's a literally bog standard, not even any color or anything on it. It's just pure white steps. Like, no, nothing on it. Like, it's not like colorful or anything. So it's not. I don't know what the whole point was. If that makes any sense. It doesn't make any sense, but look at that's the reality. That's the reality we live in, unfortunately. That they're allowed to spend this money, like literally, like definitely somebody's getting like more. Like there's definitely it would only cost 100,000 at most to do what they did. And how did they manage to get 750,000? And the sad reality is that nobody ever be held to account for it. Like nobody who signed off and they said this was okay, because somebody signed off and some head of the council or somebody from some government department said, yeah, this is fine. We're going to pay these people €750,000 for this job. That's fine. Like that. And some of the councillors and stuff must have knew, before this even came out about it. Like somebody should be going to prison for this, to be totally honest. Some of the people in the council should be going to prison. Oh, worse, they pay back every penny of it out of their own pocket. Whichever. I just have to do this. See, just moving. Sorry, move my tablet. My tablet's charging over there. Oh. Um. Yeah. Um. Yeah, so on YouTube, I think it's just banjoed all together tonight. I should have probably just stayed on the other stream instead of starting another one, but sure, what can you do? Because I think it's just banjoed all together tonight. I just want to double check to make sure that it's not just glitched. That everything's just not banjoed. Could be banjoed, everything could be banjoed. Like YouTube sometimes it's a joke, but no, it says for me anyway. It's up and also. But yeah, it's insane that amount of money that was spent on stairs. Absolutely farcical. I'm just reading through stuff here. I suppose the other thing we have to talk about too is Elon Book. I put up a video last night too talking about it. At the time, I didn't know that the Gaudi got him and brought it back to Mountjoy. But he's pretty much in Mountjoy now, if we can tap the court. So he's probably going to be there for another 500 days or something like that. Because I don't see him pushing these contempt, to be totally honest. Like, I don't think that's going to happen. I think that's straight up not just going to happen. It's not going to happen at all. So, yeah, he's pretty much going to be there for another 500 days. And even when he gets out, even if it's 500 days or 400 days, he's going to do the same thing again. He's going to go back to the school, etc., etc. So I don't think nobody's winning pretty much here. Because Elo Buck's still not going to get his job back, and he's going to end up like in prison for 500 days or maybe a bit longer. Who knows? So nobody's winning. The Patona answer, and the Irish people are not winning too because Hello, Luke. How are we doing? Hope all is well with you. Hope you're having a good Wednesday. Thank you for stopping by because YouTube is not being kind to me these days. In terms of notifications and stuff, I'm sure you know yourself. It's just sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. And tonight is just one of those nights where it just doesn't want to work, regardless of what I do. So I appreciate you being here because nobody's got notifications or anything tonight because it just doesn't want to work. But you get used to those. Unless people just get notifications now, which could be the case, because weirder things have happened. I literally was nearly an hour one time and the notifications went out. Like YouTube just doesn't work. Like sometimes it does work. It's like the algorithm too. It's weird. Sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. It all depends too what you say, of course. Like I've said some stuff that really probably upset YouTube in the past. So that could be one reason to fight to for many things. But yeah, so and I suppose the other thing I was just going to say, not about either book, but just in general about the Metro Link in Dublin. It seems like it's going to be delayed into 2027. Now they said this year, when they finally got the planning stage done after 25 years, that they were going to start building next year, coming 2026. Long story short, that's not going to happen now because some people are putting up objections, and obviously they need to be looked through, and it's going to take time. So basically, no Metro Lake probably for the next 10 years, at least. That's before they even put a shovel into the ground, because nothing has basically been dug yet, which is absolutely insane to say after 25 years. Like, nothing can be done in this country, and anything that can be done is literally €500 million. Like the National Children's Hospital. It's a miracle how this country even was able to do anything years ago. Because literally can't do anything nowadays without costing the earth, moon, and stars. And then we can't even get a train network. Not even train network. Yeah, I'm sorry to say Dublin has got a lot worse, and it's not going to get any better. It's going to get even worse from there, unfortunately. It's a sad thing to say, but this is the truth. It's just getting worse. I know when I was 3 weeks ago, so I was walking around Dublin airport and stuff, and it's not great. Not even to mention, I was in one part of Dublin. Like, what was it? Near enough the airport. I don't know what the village. I think it's Swords, isn't it? Near the airport. Like the area, like the village near the airport. And it's not great. That's what I. It's just not great. Whatsoever. I just didn't feel good. It didn't feel safe. Sorry, now give me a moment. The worst thing about being a YouTuber, you have to kind of, because when stuff is happening, you kind of need to focus on, like in the world and stuff. Where am I? Sorry. This woman. Sorry, give me a moment. Yeah, I'm back. Sorry, I'm back. I was too busy yucking at stuff there. Yeah, like I was there because I had a few minutes to kill when I was going just a few weeks ago to Finland. And I walked. I don't know the area that well, but I walked around because I had a while to kill before my plane. And it wasn't great. It's not that there was attacked or anything, but it didn't feel great. It didn't feel safe. If that makes sense. I think it was swords. Am I right in saying? I might be wrong. I know it on the map. Because I had loads of time to kill, and that's the unfortunate thing with planes. You have so much time to kill. Yeah, it's swords. Yeah, like it was in Swords, just up the road there, around the castle, Swords Castle, just around that area. I don't know if you know it well, but just the kind of around that area there. There's like a park there. Because I had I think it was nearly 4 hours or something I had to kill before my plane arrived. But not even before the 2 hours. It's supposed to be there in 2 hours before your plane's arrived. Obviously, check in to get through security, etc. So I had 2 hours to kill. I basically was there in Swords for an hour, and I just kind of looked around, like around the castle, that area. It wasn't great, and yeah, that's the main part of the Swords, and it just wasn't great. Somewhere I wouldn't probably go back to, unfortunately. It's not like Dublin City Centre has gone to hell. But it's a sad thing to say. But it's not a place that you kind of want to hang around too much. And it's the same within the city centre itself. It's not just Swords. And like all of it's pretty much just a mess, Dublin, in terms of crime and just safety in general. It's not impressive when it comes to that. And unfortunately, it's getting worse. Like every day, it's pretty much getting worse. And every week, it's pretty much getting worse too. Which is an unfortunate thing to say. Nobody wants to have to say, but it's the truth. Yeah, like when I was like in May, I went to Finland. I was on O'Connell Street, Grafton Street, the main city centre. Uh, not great. Let's put it that way. The main street in the country, not great. Um, and the main streets in the country, not great. And then I was in Dublin for the event, the Benjamin event in January. It wasn't great too. Hello, Erin Only. How are we doing? It's not even just that; it's just in general. Obviously, people coming in from Timbuktu, etc., is not helping the problem. But even some of our own, are causing a bit of trouble. If that makes any sense. Uh, just in general too. Like they want to get rid of the GPO. They want to get rid of pretty much it. They would nearly knock all of O'Connell Street down if they got away with it. Hello, Queenface. Everybody just got notifications now. Hello, everyone, because we literally were sitting here for a good while before notifications went out because YouTube doesn't like me. I've said a few things against YouTube in the last few days, and they're very upset about it. But yeah. So we did talk about earlier. We talked about earlier on about this nice wall in South Dublin. Not walls, sorry, stairs. These nice stairs in South Dublin. Yeah, of course, the fact checkers have freaked out. They always are freaking out, but yeah, these stairs in Dublin are very fancy, aren't they? Like 750,000 for 14 stairs. Yes, you heard me right. For 14 stairs, it was 750,000 plus a ramp too. So isn't a great value for the money? I'm sure you've seen the photo. Very bog standard stairs. Like you think you would be getting gold stairs. But pretty much 14 stairs now, 100,000 euro per stair. Yeah, that's how much the 14 stair, 100,000 euro to put one stair, like one block of concrete in. 100,000 euro. The country's saved. When you see that, you're just like, what the fuck? Because in general, the whole lot should only cost 100,000. I don't know if you know what I'm on about. I don't know if you know what I'm talking about. South Dublin County Council have done it. I don't even know. I can't remember the name of the park. It was some park entrance. It's absolutely ludicrous. Like if you ask me, they spent nearly 800,000 euro on a few stairs. Like, are you mad? Are you well? Like it's absolutely crazy when you really sit down and think about it. That's the price of 2 bicycle sheds, as I say, or 3 bicycle sheds. So you can get 3 bicycle sheds for that. Yeah, I think it's South Dublin County Council. Yeah. As far as I know, I think it is. Yeah. Which is the longest street in Ireland? And that's a good question. I just couldn't tell you. I think it's somewhere in Cork. I remember somebody saying to me about Cork once. But I'm not sure, Greenface, to be totally honest. I would take a guess somewhere in Cork City, but I couldn't tell you the name of the street. I remember somebody saying something about Cork once. Because actually it was on YouTube. It was a live stream on YouTube, but I can't remember. It was that long ago. But I vaguely remember somebody saying, about one of the longest streets. And they were saying about something else that was... I think it was the oldest pub in Ireland is in Athlone. Somebody said that to me one day. What's the longest running pub in Ireland? This is back, God only knows, 4 years ago, 5 years ago. It makes sense. Make that. Well, at least in fairness, like people actually use that stadium for different things. It's the second longest street. Well, what's the longest then? But no, at least people would use it. If that makes any sense. Cork. Was I white? Maybe was I white? Because I didn't know what the name of the street was. I vaguely remember. Only found out. So I was white, yeah, because I remember somebody saying that to me. Oh, is it Letterkenny? Is it Letterkenny Main Street? I was never even actually in Letterkenny, so I couldn't tell you. Um, uh, it is the longest. But yeah, the country loves to throw money down the drain. Um, Donegal's Letterkenny, Letterkenny, yeah. Um, as some people would say. Um, well, that's something you don't learn every day. I keep that in mind if I ever go up to Letterkenny. The other thing we talked about just at the beginning of the stream before notifications, but we talked about Eli Buck. Um, he's back in prison. Now, it obviously took a week before the Gardaí got him. But as I said in my video yesterday, I do think he's made his point. Because the state is not going to back down. And I don't see, the state giving back his job because he wants his job back in Wilson's Hospital School. I don't think it's going to happen. Like, let's be honest, I don't think it will. Because I think they've literally entrenched themselves now, the government. And they're not willing to back down one inch, if that makes any sense. So I think he's losing a battle that he's already lost, pretty much what I'm trying to say. Because he has shown what I mean by that is he has shown the state time and time again up. But he's not going to win in the end because they're not going to back down. Especially now, he's going to be there for another 500 days. And when he gets out, he do the same thing again. They're not going to give up, pretty much, the state. He's made his point. Just speaking positive, that was me. I maybe would have went to days, like that time he was in prison before for 500 days to make a point. But at this stage, there's not much more point you can make, if that makes any sense. Heather Humphreys. I was just going to say that in my video yesterday too. That I don't know if you've seen it, but Heather Humphreys. We were saying about vote for Heather Humphreys and stuff. But this is the thing: Heather Humphreys has never publicly even talked about it, to my knowledge. Has never, unless she privately has talked to them. Maybe she has, maybe she hasn't. I don't know. But they basically were more or less saying if Heather Humphreys got in, she would let Eli Buck have his job back. Obviously, the president couldn't do that, first of all. But even when she was a government minister, this was going on. And she said nothing. She said nothing, and she didn't, try and help him or do anything. Good evening, Sean. How are we doing? But I don't know. It was like Stockholm syndrome because I don't think they realised that she was in the government when he was being put to prison, etc., etc. Like, you get what I'm saying. Like, she was in the cabinet. Like, she sat on the table in the cabinet. Like not just an only TD. Like, she was a minister, even though you might not say it's a high position in the cabinet. But still, she was at the big table, and she did nothing. She decided nothing. No, didn't make a phone call or didn't do anything. Yeah, I don't support either of them, to be totally honest, but that's why I spoiled my vote. Didn't support either of them. But still, at the end of the day, the way they were going on, you think Heather Humphreys would, pretty much. I don't know how the president does have the authority to pardon people, but it has never really happened for crimes that was committed, mainly for hundreds of years ago. It's crimes that were committed hundreds of years ago. But not like modern crimes. I don't know what the Constitution says about the presidential pardon. It's presumed the government has to suggest it to the president, and the president signs the pardon. So it's the government, I presume, that has to put it up to the president, and the president signs it. I presume that's the way it works. So the Minister for Justice does it. Because the president, the office of the presidency, pretty much, there's nothing you can do without the government's permission. That's the thing. You need the permission of the government to do anything. To do nearly everything, pretty much. Not even just to do anything. It's to do everything, pretty much. You need the permission of the government. Hello there. We're back again, She was in my last live stream. We had to cut it. We had to cut the show because notifications didn't go out, and everything just basically went out the window. So I want to talk about the Irish government are talking about changes to the immigration system. It's about time, and obviously I don't believe it until I see it. What I'm trying to say, because let's be fair, I've heard all this before. I've heard it all before that we're going to do something about it. Maybe he will, Jim O'Callaghan. Maybe he will, but I presume they will have to do it because especially after the amount of spoiled votes, particularly it was a lot to do with immigration. So I do think they will have to kind of do something, in some small way. Now, what they're talking about at the moment, and Jim O'Callaghan said it, Ireland's population grew. This is only last year by 1.6% last year. And that's 7 times the average of the European Union, just to say. For such a small country, it grew by 1.6 in 1 year, just to say. And that's not just through natural births, mainly immigration, people coming in. So now the government are suggesting that people who are working, asylum seekers that are working, should pay money towards it. Obviously, that should have been in from the start. Um, and the government, I heard Simon Howard saying this 2 years ago, that any asylum seeker that was working should be paying towards the accommodation. That obviously never happened. So maybe they're serious now. Maybe they are, but they should have done it from day one. And they're talking too about the amount of people coming in, legal migration too, the amount of people coming in on student visas, to study, Indians particularly, and Pakistanis too, to study. Obviously, that needs to be cut down because it is affecting Irish people's total level of education because they're taking up all the student accommodation, etc., etc. Like it's insane numbers. Like I think the figure was thrown out that there was nearly 40,000. I think something like that. It was a huge number of student visas given out. Insane number of like student visas given out. And then not to mention other stuff for work visas, etc. Insane numbers. Like it's just high. Like it's very, very high. Really, really is very high. And there's no way a state like the size of Ireland could sustain it. Because it is a huge growth. 1.6%. It's very big growth for such a small country like Ireland. Hello, Unlock. How are you doing? Good evening. Hope we're well. We should probably build another. We have to build more prisons, unfortunately. That's simple too. Because there's too many people getting off with just murder in this country. Like there was a case in Monaghan. I'm sure you've seen it on my community post. Like he literally, like this man literally, like pretty much nearly killed. Like he literally bet up his grandmother, and his grandmother's still alive, thankfully, but like she's pretty much brain dead. So pretty much she can't really communicate with anybody. She's just pretty much brain dead. And he got 12 years. So he basically intended to kill her. Let's be fair. Like he intended to kill the woman. And the judge gave him 12 years. Here you go, 12 years. You literally brain like this woman can never do anything ever again in life. And the judge is like, here's 12 years. And we suspend 2 years. You'll be out in no time. And you're just like, what kind of justice system is this? Like, and the excuse that was given, there's no room in the prisons. That was the excuse that was given, that we have to because there's not enough room in the prisons. And that was the excuse that was made up for that case, that there was no more rooms. They couldn't give him a life sentence. Because you nearly have to argue that he pretty much killed the woman because she's never going to be able to do anything in life like never again be able to pretty much talk or do anything. And it's just evil, and the judges are evil for doing it. For only giving that man 12 years and suspending 2 years. Evil stuff, like really is. And that's only touched the surface of other crimes, etc. But that's just the recent crime in Cavan. It's absolutely farcical. Yeah, there was like it's 1.6%. It doesn't say the exact number. We probably won't know until the end of the year when we add up all the numbers. But yeah, and obviously they're saying about the family reunification. The way they can bring their families over and work here for a certain period of time. The talking about family reunification. Obviously now we do need to put a stop to it because there's no sense of somebody that's coming from Sudan to what's happened. He's bringing his whole family here, his grandmother and his great aunt and his friend and his neighbor, because that's what's happening. There's a whole squadron of people turning up. When one of them turns up, the whole family turns up. And it shouldn't happen, simple as that, because it's simply unsustainable that this many people coming from every part of the world. It's all right, one of them coming, if all the background checks are done, etc. But then he brings his whole family. It shouldn't be allowed, especially with the system at the moment, because a lot of these people are not working to you at the moment, and they rely on the government to pay for everything, pretty much. And what I mean with the government, you and me. And it's just fair is fair, and it's taken a huge toll on the state because it's billions of euros being spent. Like even just on medical cards for Ukrainians it was 100 million that was spent in Ukraine just for medical cards. 100 million. That's just even just for that. And that's not even counting your other asylum seekers, how much that could be. That could be 300 million. Just the medical cards. Before we even go any further, that's just the medical cards, how much has been spent. 300 million. Insane money. Like, we're talking literally insane money that could literally build so many houses for Irish people. And the same with student visas too. Like, there should be a limit on student visas. I do think it's important that people do come here to study, of course, um, but there needs to be limit. Like, at most, at any given one time in this country, only 4,000 people should be coming here for student visas. That's at most. And then as soon as the student visa is gone, you're going home. Simple as that. Regardless if you're from Europe, where you're from, you're going home. Simple as that. Um, I think that's fair, because at the moment in time we're taking 40,000 people in on student visas or something like that. Insane numbers, like absolutely massive numbers, and we're wondering why like so many people in Cavan, take what's happening, who are going to study in Dublin, can't get it properly, can't get a place to rent to study, a student accommodation. That's because literally every Timbuktu from around the country, around the world, may I say, mainly from India and Pakistan, are coming here, and the using up that student accommodation that should be for Irish people. And that's the simple fact, it should be. So that's why I say 4,000 people at most should be allowed to come. And of course, that should be the limit, because there should be a limit. There shouldn't be just an unlimited amount that can be accepted, because it's absolutely insane. And a lot of people do overstay their visas. That's the thing too. Uh, but the whole point to and I suppose the next thing I say too, they're talking about what the Finnish government have talked about, the true Finns. They have talked about asylum seekers, and asylum seekers, even foreigners, Irish people too, who don't work, who don't contribute to the Finnish economy. First of all, they're going to deport you if you're a non-European citizen if you don't work. They should do that here. If you don't either be in education or work, you'll be deported. I do agree with them on that. They should deport people if they don't want to do anything within 3 months. But the other thing is that the done is that basically, if you're on benefits, take for example, even as a European citizen, you will never get Finnish citizenship. But there's a certain period of time, I think it's a year, up to a year. You can have it for 3 or 4 months, right? But anything after that, you're not going to get citizenship in Finland. Even if you worked for 30 years, you're not going to get it. Well, I do think it's fair, because it's only fair in the country that you pay your way to get your citizenship. And of course, they extended it too, that you have to speak fluent Finnish, etc. Should be the same here, that anybody who's getting Irish citizenship. I'm not going to suggest that they speak fluent Irish. A lot of people can't speak Irish here, Irish people, but that they speak decent enough English, etc. And they can learn a bit about Ireland, etc., etc. It would be a bit hypocritical to ask them to speak Irish when half of the Irish people can't speak Irish themselves. But they should be able to speak like very good English. And knowing a good bit about the country time for anybody to get citizenship. What I'm trying to say, should be very hard. So they're talking about 5 years now. And in fairness, the government have addressed this too, because they pretty much have given citizenship out like candy canes. Like, pretty much they've handed them around like sweets. Like, they've just thrown it at everybody, citizenship. Like, the people getting this nearly probably, I don't know what, it could be 15,000 people a year now getting citizenship. Like, it's every week nearly people are getting Irish citizenship. And a lot of people are not entitled to it. The one, the dole, etc., all their life. They shouldn't be getting it. Simple as that. Because they're not contributing in any shape or form. And not even that too. Some of them do have convictions and stuff, and they shouldn't. Any foreign national stuff shouldn't ever get Irish citizenship if they have a conviction. Or an Irish passport, just to say too, you should never get it. I do think they'd be very strong on that too. Because Ireland is a weak link, and this is why I'm saying this too. Ireland is a very weak link, and what I mean by that is we're seen as a very soft target. People come here and abuse the system. Some people have come here genuine and done good. Nobody's lying about that. There's some people that have done good for society, etc. But a lot of people have heard about Ireland being a cheapskate in terms of not pushing back on people when they came here and abused us, etc., taking our money, etc. And that's been abused, and unfortunately, it has been abused because we were too kind to people, giving them the benefit of the doubt, etc. And unfortunately, that was used against us, and our kindness was abused. And that's just the thing about life. When you're too kind to people, who will be abused. People will take advantage of it, and unfortunately, people did. And it has to come to an end because it's simply too much for the Irish taxpayer to have to pay. Um, but yeah, that's the way I see it. It's not far right and it's not racist, but it's about putting your own people first of all, and not even that too. You have to put the money towards your own people. We can't do everything pretty much. We can't save everybody. We can't do everything pretty much. Nobody can do that. Only God can do that. The be total answer. Um, because the sheer amount of problems, as I say, just even about student visas, and I keep bringing this up because there's loads of young people I know that are going to college in Dublin, so they can't get accommodation. They can't. There's two or three of them, even though they're working part time, they can't get it because it's just so expensive for students and stuff. To even just get a small room, in a college dorm, is just insane. They can't get it, and the reason is because there's so many people coming from abroad to study. It's putting pressure on the system that's already under pressure, regardless. But and that should be going towards Irish young people. Um, and if that's far right racist, so be it. But it's the truth. It's simply the truth because the numbers of people that's coming in on student visas is insane. I nearly would say it's the highest in the European Union for such a small country compared to maybe Germany and France. That'd be probably the only two countries that probably could top Ireland. But compared to, say, Finland and Norway and Denmark, or even smaller countries, the Netherlands, or Greece or anything like that, it'd be absolutely insane. Like if we looked at the student visas that was given out, like it's absolutely insane. Same with work visas, like the amount of work visas too that's been given out. It is ludicrous. It's absolutely ludicrous because we pretty much thrown it at people. Um, yeah, but it is difficult. Like university is difficult for people. Um, but they're saying it's going to take longer too for people to get citizenship too in general here, which I do recommend. It should be. I know it sounds very harsh, but it should be 15 to 20 years at least. Because the way I see it, it should be a process. What was happening here is you just turned up and you got it, and that was pretty much it. There was no really rules or anything about it. You just kind of got it. Like it should be a process, and that's the way I deem it as. You should be a process. You have to learn about the culture, the heritage, etc., the whole history, and that takes time. And to learn the language, etc. That just doesn't happen overnight. It doesn't happen in 5 minutes. It takes a good few years to get understanding the Irish culture, the Irish traditions, our values, etc., etc. To see where we're coming from. If that makes sense. As Sanna Mowan says, to understand where people are coming from, um, Irish people, etc., the history, etc. And that takes time. I do think 15 years should be the highest. That's harsh, but it has to be harsh. If not 15 years, 10, but it should be very long. Because what they did in Finland, as I say, no foreigner will ever get it within 10 years, 15 years. That's how long it's going to take a foreigner in Finland to get citizenship, and it should be. Because no Finnish language is very difficult. And nobody would be able to speak it. No foreigner would be able to speak it. It takes years. It takes years for somebody to fluently, like they're talking about the medium talking Finnish, like when we have a conversation, etc. Like it takes years for anybody to do that. It takes 10 years just to learn the language. And that's not even without passing the citizen test, etc. for different things. Hello, Gaza. How are you doing? To poke your heart. But yeah, no, we see if the government do pass, but I'm skeptical because we've been here before saying they'll do this, they'll do that, they'll do the other. Maybe they're serious this time, who knows? But something does need to be done because the country is at breaking point. We see it in the UK too, and across Europe. To do with immigration, people are very wild up about it, particularly what we've seen in City West with the 10-year-old girl. The deportation, I don't know about the deportation. I presume they will have faster deportations for people too. I presume that'd be something. Because the majority of deportations here are not enforced. People stay here. As we've seen, unfortunately, with that case in Dublin, he should have not been here in the first place. He wasn't sent back, and the results happened. That what happened, and that's what happened. But it's the state's fault for that. He should never been allowed to stay for such a long period of time. And Tusla has a lot to blame for too, because that girl should have never been able to leave the state's care. There's a lot more to be said about that, but. And in fact, nobody's lost their job yet over that too, and nobody's been sacked, or nobody's been put to prison yet for sheer incompetence. It's fairly telling too, because somebody should have been put to prison in the Department of Justice, or somebody should have been, lost their job over than Tusla. But they did say too about applications when people apply for asylum that they'll be processed a bit more quicker. We see where that happened, but I don't know. But it's absolutely insane to see the level of growth to just last year alone. Um, but we see, but the thing about it is interesting. Sinn Féin and the Labour Party and Social Democrats, the rest of the parties, are saying that this is very cruel, that we shouldn't be doing this. But the majority of Irish people have been saying this for a long time, that they're not happy about immigration, etc. And Sinn Féin has pretty much backed the government at every tilt. But we see if the government's legitimate in terms of doing this. They might be just saying it to try and shut people up a bit, what I'm trying to say. But yeah, it will, like, if they don't address it now, it will come back and bite them in the arse at some point. Like, it will. Like, we can see it across the country that people are very, very wild up, and rightly so, because people have literally begged the government time and time again over the years to listen to them. And they just refuse to listen. So hopefully now they're kind of listening. Hopefully, in some shape or form. Yeah, it'll be very hot probably down there. We don't want the heat. You can keep the heat down there. Because it would be too hot if we got that well. That they're getting in Australia. Would be a bit too much for us paddies. But yeah, is there anything else I need to talk about? Yeah, there's actually one thing in Cavan I need to touch on. Actually, no, just when I'm here. Yeah, I seen that invited by, I think it was Matt. No, not Matt Cowdy. What do you call him? The fellow with the glasses. Ian O'Brien or something. Yeah, Ian O'Brien. I want to just mention this. Portugal at the moment, we all heard about YNL. YNL is not allowing people to print out digital, like printing boarding passes for planes. You have to do it on their app on their phone. And Portugal has come out and said, and rightly so, and I do think the Irish government should do it too, that they must have accept like paper boarding passes. And I agree with that because not everybody's tech savvy, and nobody should have to like show it on their phone, etc. For like a thing. If they want to have a paper copy, etc., it's more easy. I'd rather do it too. If any like take for example Finnair in the morning, I travel Finnair. I actually never traveled any other airline. It's always been Finnair. But say if they accept in the morning and went with Ryanair's policy, I wouldn't travel with them as simple as that. So they better not do that because Finnair has made a good bit of money out of me the last few times. They made a lot of money. I should need to become an investor in Finnair. But yeah, if they ever do that, I'm not flying Finnair. Simple as that. And I do say to people not to fly Ryanair if you can, because I don't think it's right to say you should have a digital boarding pass. I don't think that's right. I think you should, if you want to use a digital boarding pass, you can. But at the same time, you should be allowed to use a paper boarding pass. I think everybody would be happy with that if there was the option. If that makes any sense. But I just want to talk about a case in Cavan at the moment. It's to do with, I talked about this when it happened at the time. It was to do with loads of fish. 800 fish died in a lake in Cavan. Now, the Department of Environment and in Waterways Ireland, the inshore fisheries, conducted an investigation. And they said it wasn't pollution that killed these fish. But if it wasn't pollution, what killed these fish? It was 800 fish. Like, they just didn't just drop dead. So I don't believe them. I think the majority of people in Cavan don't believe them either. Because there's something that killed these 800 fish. It's not just. It definitely was some kind of pollution somewhere. So I don't get it. I have to. I don't think majority of people on this don't believe them, and I don't believe it either. They're definitely probably hiding something, whatever it was. It's definitely been hidden because I don't believe that 800 fish can just suddenly die all at once. Something suspicious is going on. But no, I just thought I'd mention it. Um, um, uh, um, yeah. So Miha Mountain, actually, what I just top of this too. Miha Mountain, the space has been running away the last few days. He's been in South Africa. He's been in Algeria. He wish he would stay there, but he unfortunately came back. Unfortunately, everybody in the country is devastated by that news. But yeah, unfortunately, it's not going well for Miho at the moment. Miho is not doing well. Miho is not doing well. Um, a lot of people are very angry about him, particularly in Fianna Fáil. And not to mention the majority of Irish people are very angry at him, talking a lot of shit. Because he's just talking shit constantly. The amount of times this man has talked shit about Irish people, calling them mongrels, etc., is unbelievable. So everybody's very upset with him. In his own party, everybody else. So basically, he's doing everything he can to stay in Europe or stay wherever. I wish he'd stay there. We could send him off to Finland. He suit the Cohen Finnish government. He suit them down to the ground. Speaking of the Cohen Finnish government, we get there in a second. I just seen that too. You just reposted. Thank you. Thank you, Luke. The other thing I want to talk about is to do with Private Sean Rooney that was killed in Lebanon. Now, would you believe the Lebanese authorities still don't have the fellow that killed him? They did have him when he first was arrested, and then they let him go, would you believe? So it's very unlikely, and sadly, that the killer of Private Sean Rooney will ever be caught and will ever face justice for his crimes. Oh yeah, but I don't. It's not that I support. I support the concept of why he started this in the first place. If that makes any sense. Like I don't believe anybody should be forced to say, you must say this, etc. I don't believe in that, regardless of its transgenders and regardless of who, what it is. Nobody should, the same if you work on a job, nobody should say, oh, you have to say this or you have to say that. It's up to you. You're getting paid to do a job. Say, for example, you work in the shop. You're there to just serve the customers, make sure they get money, etc. You're not there to be pronoun police, etc., etc. Do you get what I'm saying? As I said in the video yesterday, what he's doing and going to the school every day, etc., is not achieving anything. And going walking the corridors, it is distracting the children too, and it's distracting the school, because it is a school at the end of the day. The children need to learn. But I do think he's made his point. That's my point. I do think he's made his point, and he's said it many times. He's shown the state up many times. But the simple truth is that the state's not going to back down. And pretty much it's just going to be the cycle keeps repeating itself. He'd be another 500 days in prison. He'd get out, he'd do the same thing again. The cycle just keeps repeating. So pretty much there's never an end to it. So, that's what I'm saying. He's facing an uphill battle. What I'm trying to say, he's already lost the battle, unfortunately. So the best thing to do would be, just to leave it be, in my opinion. You get what I'm saying? I explained it a bit better in my puppy video. Yeah, the salsas be happening soon in Newgrange, yeah. But this is the thing. It's not the. I do support the concept, the United Nations peacekeeping. Like Ireland's very well known for its peacekeeping and stuff, and it's a good value to have. As a peacekeeping force, that we're not there as occupiers, etc. That we're there to uphold the peace. To bring some stability, etc. It's a good thing to have to say. Yeah, if that makes any sense, and it's something that's well valued in this country, I think, too, because Ireland has done more than nearly any other country in that avenue. 60 years now of peacekeeping, international peacekeeping in the Congo, etc., etc. Very difficult circumstances. Even if it's happened the Golden Heights when the Irish Army, the one the Israeli fire, etc., etc. It's a good thing to have to say that Ireland is very open to peace, etc., etc. That it's open to making sure there's a better world, etc., etc. And I do think it's a good look in the state, and I do think everybody agree on that it's a good thing to have to say that we're not there as occupiers, we're there to uphold the peace, and not even that too, to help we build trust, etc., etc., in communities, and many projects in Africa, take us out with the Irish Army War, building wells, etc., etc. It's important too. Hello, Shish, if you get what I'm saying, but I do think it's very critical for Ireland, particularly with such a long time at it. 60 years is an awful long time. It's more than any other country. It was said to me a good few times in Finland too about Irish peacekeeping stuff. That was a great thing to have to say for a country. That we have such a proud record of peacekeeping, upholding the peace, etc., in other countries. Obviously, some of our troops did come back too, and I just want to mention that they came back from Lebanon yesterday too, the battalion. Was there something else I was going to say? Can't remember. I got distracted. I kind of forgot. What was it? I talked about the fish, yeah. Just trying to remember now. So I should write all this down instead of trying to use my brain. Snowing yet? No. It snowed in a few parts of Ireland, but not here, in Cavan particularly. It's cold, but it's not snow cold. Sorry, excuse me, but sorry, burping. Yeah, so what was it? Yeah. Sorry, give me a second. I'm a bit lost for a second. Where I am. So you get too busy talking about different things, and I just lose track of what I was supposed to say. Oh yeah, the ATM law. I put up a video there earlier on. It was meant to be up yesterday. It didn't go up. I had it scheduled to go up, and it didn't go up for whatever reason. So it's up now. But the Irish government basically have implemented this, and it's to do with cash, the access to cash, ATMs. Now, take for example, Cotillo and County Cavan, they used to have a ton of banks, like banks, AIB, etc. A lot of banks have closed in rural Ireland, and a lot of places have closed too, and there's not as many ATMs as they used to. So thankfully, the government have done something good for once. So pretty much now there'll be a law now that within 10 kilometres of a town or a village, there needs to be an ATM. Like, take for example, I am at Butler's Bridge in County Cavan. There's not one ATM here. There's not one in Milltown. I don't think there's one in Killashandra. Don't quote me in Killashandra. I don't think there is one actually taken of it. There's one in Bowtobit. There's a good few in Cavan Town and stuff. Depends on what school you go to. What in the what's the difference? Sorry, give me a second. I get to you, James. Hello, just to say, just let me make this point. So it is a good thing because the access to cash. A lot of people don't get cash now because they need to go a long way to get to an ATM to get the cash out. So it's a good thing to have to say that there'll be more ATMs. But I'm a bit sus about the language of the legislation because they specifically say 10 kilometres. And as we know, there's a World Economic Report on 15-minute cities. And I think that's what they're trying to aim for here too, very subtly, that the watch should only go 15 minutes from your house, etc., for the environment, etc., etc. I could be wrong, but it specifically says 10 kilometers. It doesn't say, within a certain distance. It specifically says 10 kilometers. But maybe I'm just reading into it a bit much. But we'll see what happens. But I'm happy that there is more ATMs because cash is king. And as Luke said, I seen you repost too. The cash is king, and it is truly king because the banks don't know what you're spending your money on. The government doesn't know, and it's just no, it's no hassle. There's no such thing as if the electricity's down or something's wrong with the card machine. There's no such thing as you just give the money. You just like take what's happening here. Like you're going to see a cavan man take out money. This is world exclusive. Like take what's happening. Have a fiver here. Right, have a fiver. Like this is a caveman's fiver. I had this since 1966, just to say it's from my wallet. There's cobwebs and everything. Like there's literally cobwebs coming out of my phone because it's been there so long. Caveman story. But yeah, like take for example, cash is king. It's up in €5 in the shop nowadays. You get fucking nothing for 5 years, just to say. Your communion money indeed. So yeah, you hand in the €5 in the shop if you're buying something, and there you go. There you go, €5 off you go. Bob's your uncle. With the card, you have to go and get the card out. You have to put you sometimes you put your pin, sometimes you swipe it. Sometimes you do the hokey pokey. But with cash, you're just like, here's the money, goodbye. Bob's your uncle. That's as simple as that. So yeah, Cavan exclusive. Click this exclusive. Cavan taking out money. What's the word coming to? You're serious when you hear Cavan taking out the money. Why is the cavan taking out his money? In Cavan, yeah. In this current year. But no, I'm happy with the law. So we see. Maybe I'm a bit sus about the language of it, but maybe all things aside, hopefully not. Hopefully I'm just sussing for no reason. And just want to see is there anything else before I move on to talking shit for another few minutes. And yeah, but the thing about it is you have to, like, the law in this country is now that they have to accept legal tender. Like in any shop or any business, they have to accept it. In this country, that law was passed last year that you have to accept it. For nothing. The tight shims. What you said something earlier on? Sorry, you were saying about what's the difference between a snowman and a snow woman? Yeah, sorry, I was too busy yapping. Apologies. Sometimes I just yapping, and you just caught me mid sentence. Is that what you were saying? Because the worst thing about this computer, I can't scroll up. I can only see what I can see in the screen. Like it's gone up, basically. Oh, a snowball. I get you now. I get you now. Sorry. I was wondering, I thought you actually generally asked me a question. It's a joke. Sorry about that, no, because see, sometimes I just get so into talking and that I didn't want to distract myself because I wouldn't remember what I was talking about. Nothing like cash in hand, indeed. Us Cavan people know that for the facts. And plus, the revenue can't find out how much you're getting paid if you paid cash in hand. So fuck you, revenue, said the Cavan man. They're always beating up the Cavan people. They have nothing better to do. And same with the radio television. Yeah. But they'll have to open bike machines, like, as I say, there's a lot of them. I even remember when I was in Cotillo, for example, in Cavan. Yeah, they lost a lot. Like Cotillo used to be full of banks. Used to be known as just banks everywhere. Same in Clonus has one now, bike machine. But in Cotillo, for example, there used to be a ton of ATMs. They used to be spoiled for choice pretty much back in the day. Even in Cavan, I remember even when I was going into restaurants and stuff, there was literally ATMs in the restaurants. There used to be one at the Hotel Kilmore in Cavan. And there's none now, but that's only back about 10 years ago. But there's none now, but they probably will put that in again. But even in different places, in bars and restaurants, there was ATMs. It was insane. And nowadays in Cavan, there's only ones at the bank, on the wall of the bank in the tower. There's none in the shop, so anyway. So it's good that there's an ATM. Like they're putting in more ATMs. How's your finished board? I don't even know what to tell you there, but yeah. Hello, Gordon. Sorry, Fiona was looking for you. Yeah, she wants you for something. I think it was snow. Yeah, I think if you wanted to ask, was there any snow where you are? Uh, if I remember correctly. Therefore, cash is king. Indeed, Luke. Indeed. Give me 2 seconds just to do something here. Sorry for that. I was just moving pens. See, I had pens out earlier on and was doing things. Um, oh, yeah, but do you remember the time we was in cavan? There was people going around robbing. It's not so much now. There hasn't been an ATM robbed. Actually, speaking of an ATM, there was one done a few months, 2 months ago in Clonus in County Monaghan. But there hasn't been one since in the whole country. And they didn't take the ATM. They took the bottom of it, and that was it. Yeah, but there's no need for phone booths anymore. Like, nobody needs phone booths. Like deliberators, yeah, they have to have them now. There's a law too that they have to have deliberators at community centres, etc. And of course, they save lives, but there's no need for like phone booths anymore. There's one outside the post office in the town, but there's none anywhere else in Cavan. Like there's no addition really any in the modern day. Yeah, years ago there used to be a lot in Cavan. I remember. But not now. There's none in Cavan pretty much, apart from outside the post office. Very secure, yeah. But see, it's the same as every job. I go into AIB. My bank account's in AIB. And they want you to go and put you like the money in yourself or take the money out yourself in like inside. They don't want you to go up to the counter like to people. They want you to go to like the self service. I always go to the person. I always go to the person and give them the business. Because I wouldn't satisfy them because I'm paying the bank for my bank account. So let them sort it. It's not up to me. Same with done stores and stuff. Like I always want to go to a person, then a machine. So we'll just talk about. Hello, Tom. Good evening. How are we doing? Hope all is well. Hope you have a good Wednesday. Swimming the backs. I couldn't tell you. I'm sure you're about to tell me. So I wanted to just talk about Finland for a second. The European Union is taking disciplinary action against Finland over basically the debt because they've accumulated so much debt that the European Union is crying about it. So basically, they're under a special category now. So pretty much, the European Union has control of Finland's finances, or has some kind of say in Finland's finances now, and how it runs its country. It's pretty much what happened here when the country went bust. The IMF went in and took control. It's pretty much what's happening in Finland. The European Union is pretty much told them about and telling them what to do. Obviously, this is all to do with the cuts. Like it's pretty much the current government's fault. Everything that's happened, like it's their own fault. Not the Finnish people, but I'm talking about the Finnish government. It's their own fault because they've literally cut themselves by they're literally debt by 1,000 cuts. What I'm trying to say. So it was the only thing that could have happened. But yeah, it's pretty much nearly getting the worst, like unemployment in the European Union. At the current moment in Finland, 10.5% of people are unemployed, which is nearly the highest it's getting there. Spain is the only one they have to beat. Imagine they've done this in 2 years. Just to say, this is all within 2 years. Just to say so. This didn't happen with this woman was about. Which what? Sorry, what? Oh, I don't really like to be totally honest with you. I don't do much shopping in Dunnes stores. I kind of just get my bits for lunch, etc. when I'm at work. but I don't shop too much. Yeah, I don't shop in that many shops at all nearly nowadays. Like I go to my local shop and that's about it. Like there's not much need. Like Dunnes stores too has got very expensive. The same as majority of supermarkets have got very expensive. Obviously, Calvin people being tight, but I don't shop that much in it. Um, but yeah, so I feel bad for Finnish people that that the European Union will be basically telling them what to do with the money. We're not telling Finnish people, but the Finnish government. But of course, there's a lot of talking shit at the moment in the current government. They basically have been saying this for the last 2 years that there was going to be 100,000 jobs. They've basically said this over and over again, but it never materialised. So the Minister of Labour is talking shit. He's saying he's still hopeful, even though unemployment is frightening levels. He still believes in 100,000 new jobs. But this is the thing, and this is the thing I said from the very start, and unfortunately have been vindicated here. That literally, if you go around cutting all the time with sitters, like just running around the place with sitters, like what do they expect? There's no growth. There's nothing. There's no kind of growth. There's no investment from abroad because they pretty much have literally cut everything to the bone, and nobody wants to invest in Finland because they pretty much have ran around with a big pair of sitters. So surprise, surprise, no investment, no growth. People are not spending money, and then obviously the huge downturn in the economy, and obviously the cuts led to high unemployment, etc., etc. So what do they expect would happen? That's what I'm trying to say. Like I could have told them this was going to happen, and I've said it like as soon as Sanna Marin left as Prime Minister, that's what was going to happen. And it did happen. So it's a pity, but Helen McAtee, and I wouldn't meet Helen McAtee. Like to be totally honest, Helen McAtee would probably know who I am. To be totally honest, maybe if she didn't know before, she definitely know. Because I wasn't too pleased with her being Minister for the Feds, So she definitely knows who I am. A lot of them would know who I am. She definitely would, because Minister for Justice that time, she would know who it was, yeah. Over a few issues in Cavan, I kicked up fuss about to the Department of Justice, etc. And then to some of the councillors, etc. So she would actually know who it was, yeah. So I wouldn't talk to even if like Minister for the Feds. It'd be talking to the wall. It'd be better. Like no offense to her personally, but no addition as any kind of minister. She's shown that when she was Minister for Justice. She's not the person to be a government minister. Whatever about a TDE, fair enough, but she's not. Shouldn't be in position of that position. And I mean no offense to her personally, but she's not capable of it. As simple as that. And we haven't seen any kind of changes. Like if I was Minister for the Feds, even if it's only for 2 or 3 weeks, I'd be like literally kicking up hell to get reform. Like I would literally be demanding things to be done overnight, pretty much. But she has literally done nothing as Minister of the Feds so far. As Minister of Foreign Affairs too. She's went to Europe and stuff, but that's it. So, right, fair enough. Well, we can track what you spend exactly. Yeah, that's the thing too. But actually, I have a funny story about that. When I first went to Finland, back in 2023, for my hotel, etc., etc. Obviously, that was in Finland, and Finnish based, etc. Finnish bank account. I had to pay, the price for the hotel, etc. And the bank rang me. I had done it online, right? But I rang them over the phone, and they booked it. But pretty much, I had to fill in my bank details online, etc. And basically blocked the pay. They put a hold on my account. Cavan spending money straight away was red flags all over the place. But yeah, no, they put a hold on my account because I never used my bank card in Finland before, and I was always used it in Ireland. But basically, they were watching what I was doing, what I was doing. And I know it's security too, because somebody could have got a hold of my bank card. But yeah, there was a whole rigmarole to get my account infos, etc. But what I'm trying to say, the bank could know where I'm spending money, and then the person said, "Oh, did you make this transaction?" And stuff. So they could see what time I was making the transaction at, where I was spending it, etc. And I thought it was a bit intrusive, to be totally honest, because it's my own money, and I'm paying the luxury for the bank to have my money. Cavan posted straight up when you hear that kind of say it. But no, I am paying. Like I'm paying bank fees, etc. For my money to be in the bank, and especially because we bailed out the banks. Micheál Martin says we didn't bail out the banks. The Irish people did bail out the banks. We literally took the fall of the banks. Of course, Sanna Marin puts loads of money into my Swedish bank account, of course, I got loads of brown envelopes. My suitcase was very heavy. When I was coming home, it was very hard to carry. It wasn't just that magazine I was talking about, Cavanos, yeah, Cavanos. That's the would be Cavan people. Yeah, it would be Cavanos. Cavanos, yes. Yeah. Are you from Cavan now? Sure, yeah. Oh no, don't say that. The Bethaniels, yeah, you could say that either too. Jesus. Typical Irish phrase. No, but the last thing I say, where the fuck am I talking? Give me a moment. I'm going to talk more shit for a second. Also, Klaus Schwab is apparently starting his own academy, which is desperate times. When you see him doing this, he's desperate. Oh yeah. Uh, oh yeah, but we don't know the full details on Lick yet. As I said before, I don't know if you've seen my community post. It has to be very fair. What they were suggesting before was pretty much give everything to Russia, pretty much give everything. And Russia hasn't won. Like, they will win eventually. It'd take 8 or 9 years before they win. Like, get to the other side of Ukraine or to Kiev, because they're not moving. The foot line is the foot line is stagnation. It has moved probably only 5 kilometers this year alone. So they're not getting to Kiev within the next 5 years. Let's put it that way. It's going to take a long, long time before they get there. If that makes any sense. So they haven't won. So what the United States was supposing by giving everything to Ukraine, like not to Ukraine, to Russia, sorry. Like it's like, let's be fair, they will have to give land to Ukraine, like to Russia. There's no doubt about it. But what they were suggesting to do was pretty much give them everything. Give them the whole regions, even though they haven't conquered the areas that they're talking in some cases. But we see what the United States comes up with, etc. But unfortunately, they will have to probably give land to Russia. There's no other way of really, like the land they have pretty much taken, they probably will have to give. I don't see Russia saying, "I'm going to go home." That's what I'm trying to say. But Ukraine's an awful big country. But what I'm trying to say, there's no. The Russian army will eventually win. It'll take another 10 years, but we see what happens. But I think everybody can agree we want the killing to stop on all sides, because too many people are dying. Far too many people are dying. Like too many people are dying. Far too many. Too many young people are dying, particularly, and too many innocent people are being affected. And it should never happen in the first place. And obviously, Russia bears the responsibility. We could argue about NATO expansion, etc. That's a valid point, because there was agreements made about NATO expansion, etc. But at the same time, too, Russia did attack one of its neighbors, and you shouldn't they fired the first shot. What I'm trying to say, But yeah, that's just my opinion. We see what happens. So hopefully, my main thing is that it will be a lasting peace, because there's no point in. There's no point in setting a conflict and then it starts up in 5 years' time again. We don't want that. But it's just my view. Nobody wants it. It's benefiting no one. What I'm trying to say. The only people it's benefit is the military-industrial complex. The Kremlin, etc. It's not benefiting. Anybody. It's not benefiting the only Ukrainian, the only Russian. That's what I'm trying to say. It's not benefiting anybody. It's causing pain and suffering. And nobody's winning. Nobody's winning this. Because the cost of just people's lives is not worth anything. It's not worth land, and it's not worth money, and it's not worth anything like that. And I truly believe that. Can't find this thing I was looking for now. So. Oh yeah, I was going to say this. Twitter has changed. It's you can see now where the accounts are based. And some Sinn Féin's accounts based in the United Kingdom. Just to say on Twitter, it's the funniest shit ever. Like the majority of people, like listen for a second. Like the majority of people on Twitter nowadays are from India. Like literally 90% of the accounts you're seeing are literally from India or Pakistan. Like claiming to be Americans, claiming to be Irish, claiming to be from the United Kingdom. They're from Afghanistan. They're not from like other countries. Insane. Like the Finnish. Like hear me out for a second. I know straight away I'm going to be accused here for that. But yeah, do you know the national broadcast, the Finnish national broadcast, YAL? YAL Radio is based in Ireland, going by their Twitter account, that they're based in Ireland. So why are they here, the Finnish national broadcaster? You could probably put two and two together. Good contract the Sanna Mountain gives, etc. Allegedly, of course. Yeah, like a lot here in the Netherlands are fed up too. I'm trying to find out how to put this. Give me a moment, so I'm trying to find something particularly. Where would it be? Sorry, just give me that. See, this is the worst thing about trying to find stuff, because I can never find it when I'm looking for it. Do you ever have that feeling just when you're trying to find stuff? Do you know the United States Homeland Security? Apparently, that was based in Israel, like the United States Homeland Security. Like it was based in Tel Aviv, apparently. Allegedly, of course, too. And also, there was some Russian accounts, like literally people that literally spout off the Kremlin's lies. In other cases, there's some of them literally based in Ireland, and like literally some of them are claiming to be Russian and in the Russian army, etc., etc., and they're in Nigeria. It is quite funny when you see that kind of stuff. Because every day they're saying, "Oh, I'm fighting the Russian, like the Ukrainians and stuff. I'm in the Russian army, etc." But turns out they're in Nigeria. It tells you something. Yeah, the list goes on. That's what I. Like it's all just kind of the whole point of these accounts. The whole point of them is a lot of it's wage bait too. They're trying to wage bait people into just fucking giving out fuck, and it's beneficial for them because the reason is why is the reason? You tell me the reason. It's because they're getting money from it because they have so much attention, etc. On a lot of these accounts that it's pretty much they gain money from it. Like some of these accounts are making thousands a month. Now, there's one account in particular claimed to be from Russia, promoting Russian values, etc. And he's from South Africa. So they're basically all he's saying about Russia and Vladimir Putin being the best, etc. And he's saying this from South Africa. Yeah, and him saying, "Oh, I'm proud to be a Russian," and this, and he's from South Africa. What? Like, I find that very funny. like it just goes on. Like the same with Irish. Some Irish of them, some Irish of them, some Irish of them. Ivito. Let me just find this. Yeah, like a lot of them are just there to farm clout and money. It's mainly money too, and some of it could be for fame too. Don't get me wrong, um, but a lot of it's just kind of wage baiting. That's what it is. Um, no, I wouldn't say that. Now, Gordon. Yeah, I seen that too, but I don't know what to make it happen. But fair enough. Um, Lovely stuff. Uh, yeah, we're not going to go into that South Park episode. I am happy. Oh, so the Cohen Finnish government meant to say this in the live stream, but literally, they've kind of literally shot themselves in the foot because literally the own government, like the Ministry of Finance, literally told lies. And the Prime Minister and the Deputy Prime Minister and a lot of literally every minister in the cabinet in the Cohen Finnish government told a load of lies. Now the media told a lot of lies, and that kind of just hit them in the face. Like they tried, like basically tried to throw shit. Um, at Sandra Mountain's government and Sandra Mountain's reputation, and it kind of hit them back in the face very hard because they quite literally lied to people. So there you go. As I know, one true Finn councillor actually put it well that they literally have literally shot themselves in the foot because they kind of literally a lot of people are like Sandra Mountain was actually a good prime minister compared to what we have now. So they kind of shot themselves. Yeah, no. If they couldn't do it anymore, they have done it now again. This was the other day, like it was total lies they made up in a lot of cases too. Like even the Ministry of Finance admitted that they were lying. Obviously, the Wika Polka, the Minister for Finance, the Deputy Prime Minister, the leader of the True Finns, has basically said fuck all. She's basically just ghosted everything. But obviously, she's still blaming Santa Mountain for everything. Also, this headline here: civil servant tried to make women pee in front of him during job interviews. Peak. I don't know what the fuck you would say, but disgusting stuff. But yeah, no. So it's total bullshit. So there you go. Yeah, I seen about the Prime Minister of Japan. She only apparently gets 2 or 3 hours sleep or 4 hours sleep a night. Is Santa Mountain cancer? No, not at all. Well, they tried their best. Like they really tried. Like they actually worked very hard. Like every account, like in the True Films, etc. on Twitter, like they literally had a meltdown. Like they had a thermonuclear meltdown. Like they're still having a meltdown over Santa Mountain. Don't get me wrong. They're not going to stop that for the next 100 years. Like they're just simply gone altogether. A lot of them. Like they literally all had a meltdown. Like they literally all had a meltdown that the Finnish government, like, Sanna Marin was the most incompetent person ever. She spent so much money and stuff, but it turned out to be all lies, And that's the thing. It was all lies, and it was all just fake news from the government, for their own government, that said it. So it didn't go well because literally they tried to cancel, they tried to make they tried to basically destroy her reputation. That's all they were out to do, or to stop her from coming back to Finnish politics. But they kind of just made people say, Sandra Mann was actually quite a good person. We probably should get her back. That's what the people say. So it kind of didn't work for them. It didn't work out well. And it kind of made the Cohen government, look just terrible. Because they literally lied. Like, whatever about anything else, your opinion on Sandra Mann, they literally lied about a person. About the political opponent, too, not, and it was politically motivated, like, there's no doubt about it. They never asked an Argentinian that. But anyway, I think we probably need to leave it there for tonight, unless there's anything else anybody wants to talk about. Unless there's something else. If there's anything else, please do let me know. But we probably won't stay too much longer. Um, um, you should be able to see. Do you have them blocked? Could you have them blocked by mistake? Because it does show here. I think can everybody else see him? Because I can see him in the chat here, unless it's just me. But he shouldn't. There shouldn't be anything like. No, there's literally only 3 people blocked, like in the whole of my channel. So that's literally all that's blocked. There's only 3 people, imagine, at this stage. I think it might be 4. That's it, yeah, 4. So he's not one of the people that's blocked, as far as I know. And that's not even from this year. That's from a few years ago. It's a long time ago that people were blocked, which is good. What picture is she hanging? What? Excuse me, Santa Mountain, of course. Is that even a question? Yeah, try all comments. Yeah, do try that. Oh, you can see him now. Well, that's good. I don't know. I don't know why it was like that. Probably just weird. YouTube glitch, probably. I can see everyone. I can see everything from here. Yeah, all messages should be okay. I'm on live chat, just to say. I don't think I'm on all messages. No, top chat, that's before. No, there's not all messages. But we probably need to leave it there for tonight, to be totally honest. Let me see now. Just trying to think if there's anything else I need to talk about. Oh yeah, hopefully the page will now be here within the next 2 weeks. Because I was talking to this morning, he said he'd be here in the next 2 weeks, hopefully. So hopefully the review of Santa Mountain's Bill Cope in action will be done as soon as that's done, pretty much. That's what I'm waiting for. Only for that the review would have been out. Now it's going to be an awful long review. Like I actually wrote like script. I'm not sure you what I'm working right, but I actually wrote quite a good few pages of a script. Like I usually don't script these things, but like that's how many pages I've written so far. Like of a script, for the video. Because I have to be trying to script it because it's a lot. It is a long book, and it's going to take a while for me to. We'll not talk about every little thing, but we'll talk about basically the main things. But still, I say we'll be an hour at least now. So that's going to be an awful long video to make and just to talk about, etc. Oh, that's I literally made a video about that about a month ago. I do recommend you watch that video, Gordon, because it's a long story. If you told me that, if you asked me at the beginning of the stream, I would have went into loads of detail. But we're not going to open that door at the moment. But there is a video. There's a video. It's about 12 minutes or so long. It's only about a month ago. It's not that long ago. Have a look at that. It probably will answer your question to the T, pretty much. What is this? Yeah, the chint, the width though. So if we talk about that at probably some point too. I have to make a video on Dublin. Dublin City Council finally have kind of taken their head out of the arse and decided to call it Christmas lights. Um, so yeah, I think that's probably it for tonight. Unfortunately, um, I'm a bit tired to be totally honest. I wasn't that tired when I started the stream, but I'm a bit tired now to be totally honest. Um, but I think we got through. We got through a good bit of what I wanted to get through tonight. Um, Surprisingly, it didn't turn into just talk about Santa Mountain all the time stream, uh, which is a plus because literally the last uh, few days has just been literally talk about Santa Mountain all the time. Um, Let me just double check to make sure there's nothing else. I'm just double checking to make sure there's nothing urgent that I have to say, because there's no point literally after I go offline. I'm just like, oh shit, I should have said this. Because literally that nearly happens to me nearly all the time. I was like, oh yeah, I meant to talk about this, but I don't think there is. So, look at lads and lads, thank you for being here tonight. I appreciate it. We should be back Saturday, all going well, of course. Yeah, hopefully Saturday. Hopefully all going well. So yeah, that's it. There'll be videos probably tomorrow. There'll be the video was supposed to come out last night. It's out now to do with the ATM law. So if you haven't checked it out, if you can. So yeah, we'll leave it there. Thank you, everyone. Enjoy the rest of your night, and I'll speak to you soon. Thank you.